Fuck your Constitution. And when I was growing up, I was taught the mushy-headed thing that the Declaration and the Constitution were sort of the same thing written by the same people and more or less, freedom, yay, hurrah, hurrah. And it was only many years later that I realized, no, the Declaration was pretty dang close to being an anarchist document because the whole point was, hey, you guys who think you have the right to rule us, in that case the British Crown, screw you, you're not the boss of us. Whereas the Constitution was, we're now the boss of you. And I didn't know for the longest time that the main people behind the American Revolution hated the idea of the new Constitution. Thomas Paine, the author of Common Sense, and Patrick Henry, good old give me liberty or give me death, railed against the Constitution and said this is going to be worse than a king very quickly. And guess what? It very quickly became worse than a king. And now on July 4th, you have the ridiculous spectacle of a bunch of Americans waving an American flag, which is a little bit weird because there wasn't an American flag on July 4th, 1776. There wasn't a frickin' United States of America yet, but never mind the foggy-headed stupidity. They're also waving a flag of an authoritarian empire that was created after the Declaration said, we don't like this authoritarian empire, and they're waving the flag of an authoritarian empire that is now many, many times worse and more oppressive and intrusive and unjust than King George ever was. Yes, a constitutional republic was a step in the wrong frickin' direction from having a king. That's how bad they are. And that lovely Constitution created the biggest authoritarian empire in the history of the world, with the biggest war machine in the history of the world, and the biggest extortion racket in the history of the world. And constitutionalists are saying, but if we try it again, it might work. No, it frickin' won't. And by the way, when you sound that, when you say that, you know what you sound like? Communists. Well, constitutional republic didn't work in the US, or the Soviet Union, or China, or North Korea, or any of the other places, but they just didn't do it right. Well, gee, where have I heard that before? If your theory fails every time it's applied to the real world, maybe your theory sucks. Minarchism sucks. It doesn't fucking work.